Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. All right, guys. Today, what we're going to focus on is SCCO. Okay, that is Sally, Charlie, Oscar. We are going to go ahead and take a look at this bad boy right here. We are going to go ahead, as you guys already see, we have some essentially some things to go over, right? So we're going to go ahead and talk about this. We're going to analyze this. We're going to see what we can do to position ourselves in the future so we can go ahead and prosper and be well. So we're actually going to go ahead, mind you, we are AC Metals Holding. This blog is dedicated to the study of aluminum and copper with respect to the market, manufacturing, and production. We talk about stocks, we talk about prices, we talk about how these metals have a bright future. And the question of the day for March 2nd, 2021, should you short this right now? SCCO. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and do a quick little portfolio analysis. Just to go ahead and hit on some topics, but we will be talking about this chart later on, so make sure you guys go ahead and stick and watch through the whole video. Okay, so what is the official name? Okay, the official name is Southern Copper Corporation. It is sitting in the stock exchange market of the New York Stock Exchange in the greatest country known to the world, America. Symbol is SCCO, as mentioned before. They have 3 corporate offices in the U.S., in Mexico, and Peru. Okay, the market cap is sitting at $57 billion, guys. It's basically, it's definitely one of the heavy hitters when it comes to corporations in terms of mining copper. Okay, so just a couple little fun facts here. Southern Copper Corporation is basically a company of a company of a company. Okay, in other words, it has a unique corporate structure. Okay, the head honcho here, okay, is the mining division of Grupo Mexico. Okay, so I want you to think of that as number 1. Okay, which owns America's Mining Corporation, AMC. Okay, that's America's Mining Corporation, AMC. Okay, which holds and is, okay, which brings us to the point, Southern Copper Corporation is owned by AMC, which is owned by the mining division of Grupo of Mexico, right? They own a few other ones. We'll talk about these: Minera Mexico, Southern Peru Copper Corporation, Acero, and Minera Los Friles. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So basically, guys, it is a fun fact, okay? Something that we can definitely look into later on. The fact that it has a corporate structure, it's nothing new, guys. Generally, corporations own corporations that own other corporations that own other corporations that own other LLCs. All right, we have our Brave browser giving us some news there. But anyways, guys, as I mentioned before, okay, we're going to go ahead and look at this. One thing that I don't like, guys, because I do use Webull. If you ask me, where do you trade your stocks? I use Webull. Okay, one thing that I don't like about Webull, and I'm pretty sure that most you have to do your due diligence, is when you're looking at the mining companies. They tell you, like, they mine 10 different pieces of metal, but they don't break it down for the percentages. So this right here, guys, this information is copper. Okay, I wanted to say this information is gold, but we talk about copper. So this information is copper, guys. Okay. So they do mine other ores, all right, copper, moly, pendium, zinc, silver, and sulfuric acid, okay. So basically 81.5% of its sales comes from copper. So listen, guys, it's a copper company. Okay, it's a copper company. We're not going to split hairs on this specific case right here. It is a copper company. Okay, when you get 81% of your money from working a specific job, whatever that job is, like, that's where you get most of your money. Okay, so I mean, they do get some sales from silver and zinc and other things, but mostly, guys, it's a copper-based company. It's even in its name. So let's go ahead and continue, guys. I'm not gonna bore you guys here with this, though. For my my hardcore investors, this is definitely something that you want to go ahead and look at, right? You always look at the financials, always look at the technicals, always look at the money. Where is the money coming from, right? Follow the money, follow the money. We can sit here and analyze this for days, right? We can look deeper and deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, but remind you the purpose of this video is to go ahead and analyze this. But I do want to go ahead and take a few little nitpick points from here. Okay, one thing to highlight, okay, 2 years of a net debt of 0. Guys, this is good news. 2018, 2019, net debt was 0. Okay, for the last 2 years. That is a good sign when you're looking to invest into a company. You always want to look and see how much debt they have. This company is, according to this chart here, in 2019, the net debt was 0, which is awesome. Cash and cash equivalents, okay, mind you, we're just highlighting some points. It doubled from 2018 to 2019, which is a good sign. It also doubled from 2016 to 2017, which is another good sign. But mind you, it kind of dropped in 2018. We can start to look at this and see if there's some cycles, but that's not the point of this video. Another thing to mention here, the dividends is increasing, guys. We are essentially 4 out of the last 5 years, the dividends have been increasing, and that is a great thing to hear for my value investors, for my people who just like to go ahead and sit and hodl. Okay. What else do we see here? Oh yeah, net sales, they've been increasing every year since 2015. Another great sign. Okay. These numbers here, guys, are essentially in the millions. Okay. So, but I want to get to this, guys. This right here, this is what you guys came for, and this is what we're going to go ahead and deliver. Okay. This is what we're looking at, guys. This right here is what we are going to focus on for the rest of the video. So stick with it, and we're going to go ahead and see. First and foremost, guys, I'm going to take a quick little sip here of my energy drink. I want you just to look at this and see if there's anything you see that I don't see. Okay, mind you, this is a educational channel. Okay, and I want you guys to go ahead and be able to look at things and recognize patterns. There might be something that you see that I don't see. There might be something that I see that you don't see. So go ahead for the next just 2 seconds. Go ahead and take a quick, I'll take a quick sip, and you guys can go ahead and just look at the chart and see if you see anything that I don't. All right, here we go. I'm going to give you guys our analysis here. Okay, and before we begin, one thing I want to make abundantly clear is we're highlighting some major points, not all the points, some major points. So for example, here was another low that we didn't talk about. We were actually talking about this low. Here was another low that we didn't highlight, okay, but it's definitely important. Here are some peaks, okay, that we didn't highlight, but they're definitely important. Here are another few peaks. Okay, so I want you guys to keep that in the back of your mind. This is an overview, a gross simplification of this chart, of this stock from 2003 to 2021. So keep that in mind. I want you guys to keep that in mind. But nonetheless, guys, there is some valuable information here that we are going to mine through, and we're going to start from the very beginning. Okay, so in 2003, the stock was basically sitting at $7.78. I went ahead and I put the copper price right next to the year, so you guys can go ahead and see how essentially it correlates. But nonetheless, guys, it took 4 years from this low, okay, to this low. Excuse me, this high. That's not a low, that's a high. So from this low to this high, it took 4 years. It took less than a year to go ahead and drop down to a new low. Once again, from this low to this high, it took about 3 years. I'm giving you ballpark averages. Okay, from this high to this low, once again, it took about a year. From this low to this high, it took about 2 years. we're starting to paint a picture here, and we're starting to go ahead and see a pattern. From this high to this low, we did not calculate. Okay, we see this right here is what I would call a swing gap. Okay, and the reason why is because it's basically just bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It didn't have anything really of significance in terms of high percentage yields. Okay, so this would be a perfect time to go ahead. These 3 years would have been a perfect time to go ahead and do some swing trading. Okay, moving forward, right, because we're looking at it from a bigger perspective, a macro perspective. In 2016, it hit another low, which took about 2 years to hit another high. And in less than this here, guys, I can tell you that's definitely less than a year, right? We have another little swing gap here. And then we come back down to essentially the pandemic crisis, which hit the financial markets really hard, right? That was essentially its crash. And we see here, that was our 9th point here. And now we see it at basically, I believe on March 1st, they was hovering around $74.81. So the first thing I want you guys to see, okay, is basically every time it drops, it's within a year. From 2007 to 2007, right? A year. From 2010, 2011, a year. Okay, 2013. Here we can go ahead and examine that later on and see if there's a date, but basically within a year, guys. Okay, another new low. We'll talk about that later. We're just looking at the lows right now. 2018. Okay, another year, another low. Okay, what do you think? Okay, what do you think is gonna happen here within the next year? I'm not gonna tell you. I want you to just make your own decision. Okay, you make your own decision. If you were a betting man, if you were a betting woman, what do you think is gonna happen here? Okay, just keep that in mind. So that was the lows. We saw that it goes from its highest to its lowest within about a time frame of a year. How long does it take to go from its low to its high? Okay, that's another good point. So from 2003 to 2007, guys, that's about 4 years. From 2007 to 2010, guys, that's about 3 years. Okay, from 2011 to 2013, that's about another 2 years. Okay, 2016, 2018, that's another 2 years. Okay, 2020, 2021, okay, 2 years, 2022 at the max, right? It takes about, the point that I'm trying to make, guys, okay, it takes anywhere between 4 years to 2 years to go ahead and hit a new high from its low. So now we have a little bit of a conflicting data, right? Because we're looking at 2020 and we're looking at 2021. It just hit its new high, right? Is it going to go higher or is it going to go lower? Me, just looking at this, guys, personally, just my opinion, I believe it's going to go lower. Within the next year, or put it this way, it's not going to go any higher within the next 2 years. Okay, let's go ahead. I put some notes here, guys, for the observations for the red circles. Okay, so relatively speaking, the stock is the highest it's ever been, right? $74.89. That was on March. Technically speaking, okay, the peak that it hit was $81.53. Okay, so it's already dropping. Okay, it's already dropping. Let's continue here. It correlates with copper prices. That's another thing that we didn't even mention before, guys. As copper goes up, the stock goes up. As copper goes down, the stock goes down. As copper goes up, stock goes up. Copper goes down, stock goes down. Okay. The only thing to mention here that I found pretty interesting was essentially copper went up about 50 cents. Technically, it went up 51 cents. In this area here, in this 2-year time frame, but the stock essentially doubled. Okay. Copper here went up about $1. Okay, and then it doubled as well. Copper here doubled, and the stock more than doubled. So it's a safe bet to say as copper goes up, the stock goes up. As copper goes down, the stock goes down. Mind you, we are long-term bullish on copper. Okay, let's see what else we have. I took the averages, guys. When it comes to this, I figured that always go for the middle. Okay, the top 5 averages here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, the average of the price was basically $51.10. Okay, the average of 1, 2, 3, 4, that was essentially $19.50. I also took the averages of the copper prices in terms and respect with its highs correlated to the stock price. And that was for the 5 high prices, that was $3.81. For the 4 prices, 4 high, excuse me. This right here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure to change this, but this should say low. Okay, this should say low. Low prices here was basically $2.31. I'll make sure to put the link of the description and the article below, and I'll make sure to go ahead and change that. Instead of high, it should read low. Okay, let's continue moving forward. Okay, one thing that I found extremely interesting, guys. Okay, one thing that I found extremely interesting was this. Since 2007, every low highlighted in red has been higher than the previous low. What do I mean by that? Okay, keep these numbers in mind. Okay, 2007, 2011, 2011, 2016, 2016, 2020. Okay, every 4 years. So from this low to this low, okay, we all can see that it's at a low. However, the price increased $2 in this 4-year span. Okay, that's going to double up in the next 4 years. So from this year, 2011, to this year, 2016, it doubled up basically $4. Okay, in the next 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, it doubled up $8. So that is what this is explaining here. Okay, $2, $4, $8. So, if you were just to follow the cycle, what would you expect the price of this stock to be at a low in the next 4 years compared to 2020? Okay, so if this was $2, this was $4, this was $8, perhaps the next gap is going to be $16, right? And this is just off the wall, just looking at correlations and just looking at the probability of it, right? But I mean, if the last what would that be? If the last 4, 8, 12 years has been following this cycle, and I was a betting man, I would say in 2024, the next low would be $28 plus $16, which would make $34. So if it's 2024 and you're looking for a stock to buy at a low and you see this price at $34, right, it wouldn't be a bad idea to buy at 34, hold for about a year or two, and sell again. But nonetheless, guys, right, mind you, this is not financial advice. Okay, I am long-term bullish on copper. I would still, but just looking at this, guys, I would still bet on a short. And the reason why I tell you I would bet on a short is because, one, right, they're talking about the whole financial crisis. It's not a if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. Okay? And as we see, this thing doesn't stay here up for too long, right? About a year, maybe two. And moreover, right, just looking at this, right, looking at the data within a 2 to 3 year span, if we see it drop to low 40s or high 30s, that might be a good chance to buy in. Okay, anything past 60s and 70s, that might be a good chance to sell. But as always, time will tell. Okay, guys, so if you like this video, if you found some value in this, if this is something that you're interested in, if there's something that you see that I didn't see, maybe you've been following this stock and analyzing it, and you want to put some comments down in the section below, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Like and subscribe, and as always, if there is a stock that you are interested when it comes to the metal industry, go ahead, put that down on the comment section below so we can go ahead and do another little quick analysis. With that being said, guys, happy investing, stay well, eat your vegetables, do the best you can, go out and live your best life.